So this style I would definitely use as, if you're permed, you're used to perms here, you're trying to transform, you're trying to transition. I would use this as a transitioning hairstyle. Um, so what she did at first, she braided around her hair, um, around her edges, and basically a French braid, and then to a single braid, to back to a French braid because of the edges. She didn't have much edges, but so she braided around it, and then she started to put in this kinky hair, braiding hair, but using crochet method. And she put that in there, and she's basically just making a natural ponytail look, a natural bun look. I don't know why people use regular braiding hair, because honestly, I feel like the crochet hair is way better, because you can just, to take it off, you take it out, you just, pull it right out, you know. As for the braiding hair, it don't look like she actually knots it after she puts it in and after she installs it, but a lot of people knots it, and it's just easier. The crochet hair is way easier than the braiding hair, in my opinion. Um, but when I first started off braiding my hair, I don't know, I just thought about this. But when I first started braiding my hair, learning how to braid my hair, I couldn't stand, the outcome. I braided, but then it looked like it was already in for a minute because, for starters, braiding your hair, French braiding your hair, for starters, it's going to look like, it's kind of going to look nappy because you're just starting off, so it didn't look like a fresh hairstyle. It looked like an old hairstyle because I was newly beginning to braid my hair. But yeah, so I don't know, that just reminded me of the times, maybe because of how short her hair was. That's how short I started off, but yeah, um pretty sure it was actually probably shorter than that. It's probably about the same length. But yeah, transition hairstyles, I would definitely use this. Transition from whatever you're transitioning from to natural, perm, dye, whatever. I would use this hairstyle because of your natural hair is under all of the your natural hair is under the synthetic hair. This ad right here, like, what the heck? They put two balls inside a bra and said it was a push-up bra. Like, what? Okay, anyways. But yeah, I would definitely use this hairstyle as a transitioning hairstyle because when you're transitioning and you're starting off really, really short and you're transitioning to natural, the style is underneath a whole bunch of layers of the other, the ponytail, the nappy ponytail, that look is under that look. So it just gives you less, you're less concerned or less worried about your hair, about how it's going to look, about how you're going to do it, what you're going to do to it. You're less touchy and feely all over it. So it's like a protective hairstyle for transitioning hair. If you're in transitioning phases, it's a protective style to keep it under, to keep it underneath and less visible, so that you can be more comfortable with transitioning. So yeah, this is a style I definitely would use. Going back to when I first started my locks, if I didn't, think about starting my locks, this is probably something I would have actually figured out, and probably something I would have did if I didn't go to locks. Just to grow my hair, I probably would do a little protective style underneath, and then eventually, every time, see new growth and see how my hair growing every time I come out of that hairstyle. So yeah, I just feel like I feel like this is a great idea, specifically, like I said, for transitions, people who's transitioning, and they're kind of just uncomfortable with coming out full, just coming out completely cold turkey, because it can be a scary feeling. You don't want everybody just to seeing you this way. It can take a toll on your mind. You can just feel afraid and nervous, and to kind of just bypass all of those feelings. I definitely would recommend doing a style like this to make you feel a little bit more comfortable and less uncomfortable. So yeah, thumbs up, and I definitely like this hairstyle. Just in my opinion. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Be notified and share at your own free will to show you care.